Deep in the countryside of the Verdant Isles, there is a small village by the name of Oakenbend. There live a gentle folk that spend their days baking, gardening, and of course taking afternoon tea. We invite you to come join them in Snowbright Studios' new tabletop role-playing game, Teatime Adventures. In these adventures, you will find kindness, mystery, and friendship. You will leap with the Hoptops, a frog-like people known for their tailored suits and fine parties. You will run with the Deerkin and join them in their binding rituals, and you will swim with the Snootlings and Finfolk, who know the ways of the rivers and streams. These Teatime adventures are unlike any other. They are fully compatible with 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons rules, but provide a cozy and welcoming break from the typical dungeon crawl. Here, players can chat, linger, roleplay, and build relationships with the dozens of fully realized and diverse characters in the village of Oakenbend. The Verdant Isles is an LGBTQ+, neurodiverse, and disability-friendly world, and the system includes an innovative new mechanic for shared spellcasting never before seen in role-playing games. Come with us and explore the Verdant Isles in these Teatime adventures. You will find that every adventure comes with a custom tea pairing that warms the heart and warms the soul.
What makes the Verdant Isles special to me is the atmosphere. There's always, and this is by intent, there's always this feeling of welcomeness to it.
The representation, I think for me that's a big one, is representation. Seeing a diverse group of LGBTQ folks, written into the game, seeing neurodiversity represented, seeing different disabilities represented, and just having it be a part of who these characters are.
One of the things that I really like about it, which is a big part of the company, but just how inclusive it is. Like, as I was looking through all the characters, there was a lot that I don't really see in other worlds. Like, for example, just having a character hard of hearing and stuff like that. It's like, oh, I realize I never really see that in games.
It has this just like wholesome vibe that we don't really get in the real world. Like, it just feels like people try to take care of the environment and that everyone's really into like plants. And it just feels like people like want to work with the environment that they are in instead of dominating it, like the world that we live in, here.
Because we want the book to have this very like lived-in feeling. So it's been very interesting to juggle those two elements, to be like, I want it to look like, I want to have all these aesthetic elements that'll make it feel like a sketchbook or like a scrapbook. But at the same time, you still gotta read it. It's a book.
I love the cover illustration. That illustration is everything that I just really love about the Verdant Isles, all like, let's say, distilled into one. Doing that illustration where I was like physically doing the drawing and the watercolor and like making it in real life just made it feel so special to me because I have that like physical connection with it.
I would probably be a Floridop, mainly just because I like, for the wings, excellent. Yeah, mainly the wings and the aesthetics, they are killer.
I would like to be a Floridop. I want wings.
I would definitely be a Hoptop. I've got big time frog energy, I think. Big time, I mean small time, because all Hoptops are on the small side.
Ooh, I'm a Deerkin. They're an earthy creature. They like the forests and the grasslands, and I want antlers. Bad. Like, bad. I'm a Deerkin. That's a very superficial reason to be a Deerkin. I want antlers. That's it. It's right there. 100%. Give me the antlers. And the cute little Deerkin feet.
I think I would be born under the Flame Astra. They seem to be kind of like the artisans, the makers. Like, it seems like the people who make things with their hands and such are like the people who fall under the Flame Astra. So I think that I would fit into that pretty well.
I would likely be born under the Astra sign because not only because I'm, as the junior designer on the team, I'm one of the artists, but I also would consider myself hardworking and very, not nitpicky, but there's probably a nicer word that's detail oriented. That's the resume word.
I think of myself as a pretty empathetic person, and I really like storytelling and history, so I feel like I align the most with Twilight.
That one was hard because I was really certain that I was Twilight because of my love of history and lore and stories. My house is filled with books, and then it was pointed out that I am very Ripple, and for probably the last 2 days, it's been nagging on me. I've been sitting in bleachers and basketball games going, you know what? They're kind of right.
I think people should back us because we're trying to put something new out into the world of TTRPGs that I don't think a lot of that exists out there right now. And I think that we have a unique voice that really needs to be heard.
I'm always a sucker for those like nestled little villages in the woods because I'm from New England and it reminds me of home and it reminds me of those like small little communities. Cozy and family friendly. Like when I was looking at it, I was like, wow, this is something I could bring to my grandmother's house and we could sit down and have tea and play this game.
I think one of the things that's really fun about the project in general is that everybody's hands are on it. I think a lot of times you hear about games being designed and you think of sort of a top-down structure, and that's kind of not how Snowbright works. So whether you're a junior artist or you're the creative manager or you work in comms or you're a programmer, your feedback and your input is important to the game's development, and all of us have had our hand in its creation. And I think projects that are done like that, in that kind of really collaborative environment, they're really cool. Like, you don't see it all that often, so it's really neat when you do see studios that work that way.
Everything in this game has been made with so much love, along with blood, sweat, and tears, but it's been made with so much love, so you know that when you back, you are backing creators who really, really care about what they're making.